I apologize for the delay in getting this out to you. I know some of the other signs got theirs like a week in advance. So the first card I have out here is actually the Eight of Pentacles, King of Cups, the Nine of Swords. And sorry for the format as well. I am on the road, so I don't have my normal, usual setup that I do at home. So it's sort of like inverted. But I hope this will do. I'm also doing this reading on the last week of July. So the first card, which is the Eight of Pentacles, is going to be something that is a little bit of a residual energy, okay? So I'm getting this very strong message. A lot of you might be involved with a water sign, and a water sign is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, indicative of the King of Cups, male or female. I do feel that you have invested a lot of energy into this relationship, and you're thinking to yourself whether or not it is worth it. So you're trying to decide whether to scrap it altogether or have that talk, about give and take and equality and balancing the karmic scale and things like that. So this can be in the relationship front, or it can be in the work front, especially because it's a Pentacles card, or in a family type of situation. I do feel that there is a lot of there's a lot of emotional turmoil, drama associated with this water sign. This could be like the drama they bring into your life. It could be their emotional baggage, the history that you have together, that is not allowing you to fully, I guess, move on with your life. I do feel as well, with the moon card coming through, there is also a great deal of deception associated with this water sign. And, the moon is very, very illusory. So it's sort of like things that we can't really um, put our finger on. So it's sort of like you meet, if you meet someone for the first time and you're just like, there's something off about this person, but I don't really know what it is. And then it takes you a really, really long time to finally pinpoint it. And in the meantime, a lot of you are very, very like live and let live. You always give the people the benefit of the doubt, okay? Until they burn bridges, then you would just move on. But it's sort of like you have an inkling that something's off, something's a little weird. There might be deception, but you can never catch them in the act, or you can never like you're never sure. And I do feel for this month, for you're going to be sure. You're going to be sure whether or not it works. I do feel at his or her best, this water sign is very like this person boosts your self-esteem. They're quite attractive, they're quite social, and they are also very charismatic. But at their worst, they're basically sucking the life out of you, mainly because it's it's a very unbalanced type of relationship. You spent a lot of energy trying to make things work, or you were just out living your life, and then they come in and they create havoc, they create drama, they create unnecessary stress and strain to your psyche. And because of that coming through for this month, you're going to realize that the relationship itself was very, very faulty, okay? It didn't have a firm foundation, and it was basically built on a lot of like guilt trips, very toxic energy actually. So just be very careful, okay? Um, I would definitely say that this is it's interesting because this energy is coming through for so many signs. I just did one for Leo, and I do feel that for fire signs especially. So we have that Venus retrograde. We also have Uranus retrograde. We also have as well, Saturn is basically going back into Sagittarius. So it's basically, you were given a break you really have to reassess the direction of your life, okay? So decisions are going to have to be made. And I do feel whatever you decide to do, the outcome here looks very, very good, okay? In the past, you might have been in a situation of self-doubt, of emotional turmoil, of also dealing with like questions, a lot of questions. It's almost like being interrogated, or in a situation where you don't really have all the information and you can't really access it because your partner or whoever it was that you're dealing with has been very evasive. So coming through for this month, you're going to figure out what it is that you want to do, because the moon I do feel that the Aquarius blue moon on the 31st has been like a a moment of total illumination for a lot of signs, okay? Especially on the relationship front. So things that you were questioning earlier, but you didn't really, that you overlooked, or you didn't really press for answers. The answers are coming through, whether or not you want the information. And I do sense it is definitely going to like steer the direction of your life like 180, okay? So you thought you were going one way, and then the 31st, the blue moon happened, and now you're just like, that's not working for me. I'm releasing all that baggage, and I'm going to take a different path. And my path is going to be more oriented, more growth oriented for me, and more beneficial for me. So I do feel that you are going to embark on a new phase in your life, and it's surrounded by very, very lovely cards. And this new phase in your life first, because the sun will be in your constellation in Sagittarius. So that's when projects and everything is going to gain traction. I do feel that first step is definitely happening for you for this month. However, the culmination, the apex of that experience is not going to come through until the end, stopping, like you're coming to a full stop sometime this month, and then you're going to do a 180, okay? And this energy also happened for Leo, mainly on the relationship front, because Venus in retrograde was oscillating between Virgo and Leo. But for you, it's making us it's making you reassess like values. It's making you reassess values and work, and also a significant romantic partner in your life. I don't feel like it's, choosing between multiple people in this spread. I do feel it was a significant relationship that you worked really hard at, that didn't pan out the way you want, that it was very, very imbalanced, and you're going to decide to release, okay, for good. And it could also be a work situation where you're like toiling away. People are not appreciative of your efforts. You worked really hard, and you worked like you put in a lot of time and effort in order to build it up from the ground, and people weren't putting in, the same amount of weight or the same amount of work, excuse me. And because of it, you're going to choose to move somewhere else in a better situation, in a better environment that is more conducive for long term stability and growth and promotion for yourself. Okay, so on the work front, there is going to be a period of reassessment, and a second decision is going to be made. And I do a decision needs to be reached here. And I wouldn't say you're running out of time or anything like that. It's just, try to steer yourself on the right path to begin with, because you have very, very good outcomes. Whatever it is that you're deciding to launch this month, you have two of the best cards here for projects, okay? This is taking that first step towards the new direction in your life. It's also a wand energy, so it deals with work projects. It deals with relationships as well, like passion, drive, ambition, creativity. And on top of it, you have the star, which is basically if you've been fumbling in the dark trying to get something off of the ground, you're actually being divinely guided this month, and a lot of clarity is coming through for you. It's sort of like the moon and the stars are both shining bright in order for you to find direction, okay? Whenever I look at this card, I always think about Moses. And, it's sort of like he is taking that first step. Possibly, this is the ocean here, but the way it's colored, it always looks to me like the desert. It's very like sparsely populated. There's a lot of risk inherent in embarking on this first step of the journey through a very barren land, and you're seeing the mountains and the possibilities on the other side, but you're holding very tightly to something that you're emotionally invested in. You're trying to make it come to fruition, but it's a perilous journey. But you have both of these astrological bodies, which is, the moon is going to light your way. There is going to be water found in that land. There's also food, abundance in wildlife as well to sustain you. Not the dogs though, just the, crab, lobster, the lobster coming from the water. At least you're going to have sustenance, okay? And it also reminds me of like manna raining down from the heavens in order to provide you with sustenance, okay? So it's like divine intervention coming through to guide you on the next phase of your life. And a lot of tarot readers and astrologers have mentioned that in the midst of it, Saturn in your sign, especially transiting your sign, is a very, very difficult period. But at the same time, there are a lot of synchronicities, such as signals, guidance, direction, and all you have to do is basically listen to your intuition a little bit more and deal with people like on a very like take people at face value. So what I mean by that is, well, let's just finish up this thing I was talking about. Sorry for getting distracted, but I do feel you have these two cosmic bodies, planetary bodies, and you're going to find light in a very dark place. You're going to find direction, okay? So you're being guided by the moon and the stars, and they're both lighting the way for you so that you're not fumbling around in the dark trying to reorient yourself, okay? So I do feel by that second week, that full 180 turnaround is going to happen for you. And you're going to figure out what you want to do. And I do sense a lot of it is going to be a new direction, a new lease on life, possibly scrapping the old job where you were working thanklessly day after day and moving forward, or scrapping that really emotionally manipulative person from your life and you're moving forward, okay? I'm sensing here that this might not be, a lot of you might be dealing with water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but it might not be a water sign. It's just the energy I'm getting from this card and the moon indicates to me there was a lot of like, there was a lot of just lack of information. It's not even like outright deception. It's just lack of information. And you were busy with something else. You never had the time to look into it. And now it's kind of like the light is being, the spotlight is shining on it. And you can't ignore it any longer. So whatever direction you were thinking about heading off towards with this person, it doesn't work like that anymore. You have to find a different way. Okay, so for this month, I would say the theme of this month is reassessment and release. Okay, no matter what, it's going to require reassessment and a very, very strong, it's just like, dropping things as is, not even like wanting to have a discussion. It's just like, I've had enough, I'm done. So I'm going to move on with my life and, goodbye to you. It's sort of like that. It's something very drastic. Um, I don't feel it's bad. It's something that you were contemplating for quite some time and you never got around to it because, responsibilities tend to pile up when Saturn is in your sign. Okay, that's just the way things work. So you were quite busy. And I do feel for this month, a lot of clarity is coming through that you can't ignore any longer. So you are going to drop things that have been weighing you down, that have been causing a lot of sleepless nights, that have been hurting your self-esteem. And you're going to move forward and decide that, this is the path that I want to take. This is something that is a lot more carefree. It's a lot more fruitful for me. It's um it's more beneficial to me and my well-being. And I don't really want this really heavy emotional experience anymore, so I'm just going to drop it. So overall, though, it's a very, very good month for you to, I guess reorient yourself into a position or especially into a life path that is more promising for your future. Health wise, if there have been like surgeries, if there have been like health scares, there's a lot of illumination coming through. So you're probably going through, if you have had health issues and you've tried all these remedies and none of them have worked, I do feel there is going to be a breakthrough in diagnosis, in, at least deciding on a course of treatment that is going to be much beneficial for you. It might be like more of a holistic health type of situation. So, for example, if you've had problems with like joints, especially your knees, feet, and things like that, and you've been taking medication, and the medication has like very adverse side effects where you feel like, oh, that's not really worth it. You're being guided to come see a specialist somewhere else, and they're treating you holistically. So it doesn't have any type of adverse side effects that will affect other parts of your body. and it's going to allow you to basically, have a better quality of health as a result. So I do feel a lot of health issues coming through for a lot of you. Things have been like very difficult to diagnose or treat in the past, but for this month, a breakthrough is coming through for you on that front, okay? So instead of taking, all these different medicines and trying all these different like treatments, you're going to narrow it down, and you don't need to, hold on so tight and take all these vitamins and minerals. It's just going to be like one dose, and I do feel that it's going to pay off in a period of 3 months, okay? So you're going to start to see like breakthroughs and improvements. So it's going to be, 3 months relatively. People would say, oh, that's too long, but in the scheme of the greater scheme of things, we live for what, longevity, life longevity is like in the 80s, 90s now for a lot of people. So 3 months is not a really long time when you want to improve the overall quality of your life. So, take a different approach this time. I do feel like a 180 turnaround for you guys. It's definitely coming through, and it looks very promising and fruitful, okay? So Sagittarius, take good care of yourself. Saturn is back in your sign. Do things deliberately and honestly. Trust your gut instincts, and I do feel that you are going to have to take some time off to do some introspection and decide on the next phase of your life. So once again, I would say always approach life with a clear mind, and figure out, like, lay out a game plan for yourself, okay? This is a really good time to do that and to figure out what you want to do for the next 2 years, what you want to do for the next 5 years, and orient yourself towards that direction, okay? And I do sense that for a lot of you, all the cards are very solitary. That doesn't mean that relationships are going to be bad, but I do sense that relationships that have been very, very one-sided, that have been toxic, that have been corroding at your self-esteem, you're going to drop them, and you're going to just walk away without, looking back for this month. So overall, it's a very closure inducing type of energy, and I do hope that you can, you know, we breakups are always hard, but I do feel that you're not going to let other people play you for a fool. You're not going to involve yourself in threesome types of relationship, because I do feel that in this card, you're looking out for number one. At least, I don't feel like this is a bad card, okay? At least you're not going to put your self-esteem through the ringer in order to sustain any type of a threesome relationship, okay? At least you're not going to do it knowingly, but I do feel that intuition is kicking in overdrive for this month. So even though you're distracted by other aspects going on in your life, you are going to do some relationship reassessment, all right? So Sagittarius, please take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, and if there are health problems plaguing you, I do feel that there's going to be closure for this month, okay? So if you are interested in a private reading, please send me an email at temperatestar@gmail.com. My website can be found in the information box below. Click on the arrow, it will expand, and click on my website, it will take you there, all right? So take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon.